Hi everybody, it's Isaac here, back with another video. Today's video I just kind of wanted to talk about just exactly how hard is it to start a Nitro Type YouTube channel, or just really a YouTube channel in general. I hear this a lot, people wanting to start a Nitro Type YouTube channel, and they just don't know what to do, they don't know where to start, and this video isn't going to be exactly how to start a Nitro Type YouTube channel, but just more talking about how hard it is. So back in, I want to say it was either 2020, I think. The last few years have been crazy, so I don't remember. But sometime in the last year or two, I started my Nitro Type YouTube channel, and I believe I was in 8th grade. Yes, I was in 8th grade, and I believe I was 14. And I really didn't have much in terms of equipment. You know, I had my Chromebook, and I had like a cheap mouse, like one of those Logitech mice that you just kind of plug in and it works, you know. That was it, you know, just had a desk. I did have to have home internet that was unlimited, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, you don't really need that much equipment. You're going to need a computer that, and this is probably going to turn into how to start an Nitro Type YouTube channel now, but I want to make sure I want to talk about how hard it is. It's not that hard. You just want to make sure you have a computer that doesn't completely crash when it records. Lagginess is okay, but not too much lagginess. If you have Windows, you can get OBS and then turn down a bunch of settings, and it can make it less laggy, although the video probably won't look quite as good. However, I myself find that Nitro Type videos, you can get away with 480p 30 FPS. That's not very hard to record in. Now this is coming from somebody who has a gaming laptop. That's what I record on, and it can run just about anything you throw at it. So I'm not exactly one that has too much experience with lag with this thing, but my old computer and my old computer lagged really hard when you recorded them, especially the old one, which is my Chromebook. But yeah, you're gonna need a computer that's either a Chromebook or a Windows. It doesn't matter what computer, as long as it can record. With Chrome, there are recording extensions. Now, I have not used a Chromebook to record in a long time, so I'm not going to make any recommendations. There are probably videos out about what extensions to use to record, and yes, you will have to use an extension. You probably won't be able to find an app on Chrome, because Chrome OS is compatible with nothing. So that's something to keep in mind. Windows and Mac are two operating systems that will kind of liberate you from that. Those computers are a little harder to find, so getting a good computer is hard, but getting a computer that works is not hard. Like a cheap Chromebook is not terribly hard to get, but it won't serve you for very long. My Chromebook was not expensive, and I burned through it in like a year. So that is something to keep in mind. So in terms of getting like the physical equipment, not that hard. It just depends on how well you want to edit your videos, and you know, if you want to edit your videos, I guess that's a good segue to the next part of the video. To edit videos, which I don't really do very much of, if you haven't noticed, I'm going to learn how to do that. In fact, I've already kind of learned how to do that a bit. It's not that hard. Editing videos, it also depends on how much you want to edit the video. I'd say for Nitro Type YouTubers, you don't need to heavily edit the video. Maybe some background music, it needs to be quiet so you can actually hear the people talking. And yes, I do recommend you talk in your videos. I know some people don't like that idea, but I recommend doing it. It just helps a lot. It's way easier. Like, talking in your videos is really easy to do. You don't have to like edit in text whenever you want to say something. But in terms of editing, if you talk in your videos, all you really need to do is cut out mistakes or cut out sections of the videos and edit them together so that they're more smooth transitions instead of maybe having to like keep loading pages and going through Nitro Type if you're doing a review of something. You can cut those transitions out, and that's something I'm definitely going to learn how to do. So that part is not hard. My brother was able to do it on a Chromebook in like 30 minutes, and that was a Chromebook. It should take way quicker on a faster computer. So that's something to keep in mind. So editing videos, not hard, but if you want to get complicated, it can get hard, especially if you're on like a Windows PC that's decently powerful. And I guess the new MacBooks are also pretty powerful. But yeah, if you want to get really in-depth editing for like a non-Nitro Type YouTube channel, maybe you're doing Minecraft or whatever game you do, or really whatever you do, heavy editing is hard. It's hard-ish to learn, but once you get into it, it's like every other thing you can get into, is it'll get easier with time unless you want to keep getting more complicated. But yeah, editing, not that bad, especially if you just want to do basic editing. And for Nitro Type YouTube, you really only need basic editing. Upload schedule. This is actually one of the harder things, and most people don't realize it. You need to have a consistent, at least every other day, where you are free for at least 30 minutes to make a video. That is a little harder than people realize, especially for somebody who's in school, like myself. I am in high school, I'm a freshman, I'm 15, turning 16 in a week, and I think my time management skills are pretty good. I still sometimes have trouble finding time to upload. It just depends on the day, especially during my track season, which is going on. It's ending this Friday. So after that, I will also be done with school. Friday is my last day of school. assuming I don't have to take any finals, which right now I should be exempt from taking them as long as I keep my grades up, which I should be able to do because I have straight A's. So you want to make sure you find time. Of course, always put school before anything in terms of Nitro Type YouTube. But yes, finding time is hard. It can be really hard for somebody who's busy, so you want to make sure you have time. And then here's the last one, and this one is out of a lot of people's controls, and that is your home internet connection. Because most people hate dealing with the internet. Most providers really are pretty corrupt. Not like terribly so. Their internet, the services are good, their support is meh, depending on the provider you go with. But most of them don't really care about you, the customer, a ton. They just mostly care about getting their money. So, here's the thing. You want to make sure you have something. Okay, if you're just going to upload videos, that's not hard. Just going to YouTube Studio, it's really easy to upload a video to YouTube. And I'll probably make it like a video on how to upload a video. But if you just want to upload videos, your internet doesn't need to be terribly fast. It does need to be reliable. So if it goes out all the time, that's going to fail the uploads. That's also going to make it to where you may not be able to have a consistent schedule, which I said is a hard thing to do. Anyways, so you don't want to have unreliable Wi-Fi. My internet, as you all know, goes out every once in a while. My internet's actually not that bad for out where I live. I live out in the middle of nowhere, but my internet's not that bad. It is wireless link to a local town with a cable connection or a fiber connection hooked up to a broadcaster, and then they just put a little receiver on our house, and then that's how our internet works. So, with that, though, there are some complications. Broadcasters can go bad, radios can go bad, cables can get cut, stuff like that happens. So you want to make sure you have reliable internet. And here's the really big one. It needs to have either a really big data limit or no data limit. So if you live out in the middle of nowhere and you have like HughesNet or Viasat, which are both really bad internet providers, they're satellite internet providers, they're really popular out in the country, but they're like the only thing you can get depending on where you live. Those have really bad data caps, and by that, once you use that amount of data, it's gone, and you won't be able to use the internet, or you'll have to use it at a slower pace until your next billing cycle. However, if you have a cable or fiber or even DSL, most DSL these days is unlimited, but if you have a cable internet connection, probably does have a data limit, but it's probably really big. A lot of cable providers these days actually just go unlimited, especially with the whole pandemic. And then with fiber providers, it's very rare to find a fiber optic internet provider that is not unlimited. Or if you have a provider like me, like a fixed wireless provider, that will vary depending on really just the company and the plans. But you want to make sure that something that's decently fast. I recommend at least 2 megabits per second upload speed, and you can test that with speedtest.net. Just type in speedtest.net. It's right here. I'm not going to open it because I would show my IP. But speedtest.net, and you're going to look at your ping. That doesn't really matter unless you're streaming. Your download speed also doesn't really matter for YouTube, and then your upload speed is very important. Now, if you're streaming, it's another bit of complication because you want to make sure you have decent ping. You obviously want unlimited data because that's going to take just as much data as uploading a video. In fact, it will take more because most live streams are longer than videos. However, it also needs to be decently fast. The upload speed I recommend be at least 3 megabits per second. And mine is 4, and sometimes it varies a little bit. Typically it's 3.8 to about 4.5, depending on the day. Now it's almost always 4 or above, which is fine. It's just when other people get on my bandwidth, I only get about half of it when other people are on, which is how internet logic works. You take a stream of water, 2 people are taking it up in 2 different hydroelectric dams, and now you have half the water for each person. Same with internet. So you want to make sure that your streaming is, or that your internet is streaming capable. So yeah, just be careful of that. And then again, data limits. Got to be careful of those data limits. I've had internet providers with data limits. It's not fun. And if you don't know, ask your parents because they probably know. And if they don't, you can always check your provider's websites and your plan you're on. But that's important too, and that is the hardest thing to do. You have to make sure you have good internet. And I know I've been talking about this for a while because I'm a tech nerd. But it is important, and it's a really hard thing to get accomplished. If you live in a city or town, you're probably fine. But if you live out in the country like I do, you're probably going to have some trouble. Now, some suggestions, and I'm going to make this quick because I've been talking about this for a really long time. A mobile router. I'm not going to explain what it is. It basically takes cell networks, uses it for internet. Most of those are unlimited. They're not expensive, and they work just about anywhere. Please, I'd rather you go with a slow mobile router than a traditional satellite internet. Now, if you can get SpaceX Starlink, that's the new type of satellite internet that's way better. It is decently expensive. Not actually as expensive as Viasat or HughesNet, but it's expensive. It does have short outages because it's still kind of being developed. It's still pretty new, but it's way faster than most things you'll find in the country when it works. And then DSL is also a really common one, it's a really slow type of cable internet. It's normally unlimited, but it has really terrible upload speeds most of the time. Like, you won't even be getting 1 megabit per second up, which you can actually upload on. There really isn't a lower limit, but there is, the point where it's like taking hours to upload a short video, and you're just like, all right, I'm done. My grandparents down the street have DSL, and it's really slow, and I've tried uploading a video, and it just wouldn't go through. It was just so slow. It took hours, and I just wasn't going to wait hours to slow down the internet for everybody else, so I just canceled the upload. So yeah, internet's important, hardest thing to do. I talked about this for way too long, but I hope you all got something out of this. If you did, it'd be great if you could like and subscribe. I'm going to try to stream this Saturday. I've not streamed in a while, so we'll see how that goes. I have made some improvements to my streaming scene and to the streaming itself, just like some stuff and some settings, and I've been messing around with stuff, so hopefully it works. So show up if you can. Of course, if you can't, that's fine. But show up, let me know, does everything look fine, everything coming through clear, because I did mess with a few things, and I want to make sure it's working fine for all of you. That is it for today's video. Again, my last day of school is Friday. Make sure to enter the giveaway, and I will see you all in the next one.